This Civic Media podcast is sponsored by UW Organ and Tissue Donation. Organ donations are desperately needed, and now is the right time to become an organ donor. Talk to your family. Get the dot. Save lives. Go to heroicdeed.com.
This is your WXCO Daily News Roundup for Bull Falls Radio, 98.9 FM and 1230 AM in Wausau.
For WXCO News, I'm Melissa Kay. Jesse Vang entered his plea in Manitowoc County Court yesterday. Lisa Hale has more.
Jesse Vang pleaded not guilty Monday to charges related to the death of 3-year-old Elijah Vu. Vang was caring for the toddler when he reported him as missing in February. Elijah's remains were found in September. Vang is charged with physical abuse of a child, repeated acts causing death, hiding a corpse, and obstruction. Prosecutors have until February 7th to offer him any plea deal. His next court appearance is scheduled for March 13th. Elijah's mother, Katrina Bauer, is also charged in the case.
Governor Tony Evers has declared this week as Winter Weather Awareness Week in Wisconsin. Meteorologist Brittany Merlot explains why.
Right now is a time to remember how bad winter conditions can be and how quickly they can escalate. Have a plan.
As always, weather's not convenient, so you may need to travel at a time when the roads are snowy or icy.
That's Matt Friedline with the National Weather Service.
It doesn't take long for frostbite to set in, and it can be deceptive, or your car is not working all of a sudden, and now you're out in the cold, so you're not at home. So those type of things, it's really important to prepare for.
Get a winter weather emergency kit ready and in your car, including blankets or a sleeping bag, extra hats, gloves, possibly a solar charger and a cord. Don't forget the water, food, and of course a shovel. They sell foldable ones now that'll collapse smaller for space convenience. And snow tires are a good investment too, as they're designed to grip ice better and cut through snow smoother. I'm meteorologist Brittany Merlot.
The Wisconsin State Patrol says that 9 people were killed and over 2,000 were injured in the state just last winter. It's Winter Weather Awareness Week in Wisconsin. Meteorologist Brittany Merlot explains why.
There were 45 cold-related deaths in the state last year. And the Wisconsin Department of Health Services says there were 861 emergency department visits and 225 hospitalizations from cold-related illnesses. Matt Friedline at the National Weather Service says the temperatures are about to take a dip.
Yeah, winter is a season that everyone needs to prepare for, even if you're hardy and have experienced many cold winters. As always, weather's not convenient.
Reminding us that we may be forced to drive out in a snowstorm and we could get stranded out on the road. And without your car running, time starts ticking.
After snow events, it's cold. I mean, that's just a given how the weather systems work, dragging the cold air on the heels of the storms.
And this is exactly why you'll want an emergency kit with a shovel, sand, or cat litter. And go toss a heavy blanket, extra gloves, hat, and water in the trunk right now. Those are essentials in dire situations. And then you don't have to think or worry about it again until you need it.
Measles cases are picking up, both worldwide and here in the U.S. With more, here's Civic Media's Jimmy Kuska.
The largely preventable and highly contagious disease has had 266 confirmed cases in the U.S. so far this year. Last year, worldwide, there was a 60% increase in measles cases as misinformation about vaccine safety led to declines in vaccination rates. In the U.S., vaccination rates fell to 92.7% for the 2023-24 school year among kindergartners. Over 100,000 people, mostly children, died last year from measles worldwide.
1 case of measles has been confirmed in Wisconsin this year, in Dane County on April 26th. For more information, you can visit the Wisconsin DHS website. Before you head out to the woods, be sure you're checking your stand for safety. Tree stands are the leading cause of hunting-related injuries and deaths in the U.S. Statistics show that about 1 in 3 hunters risk falling and facing serious injury. This is higher for archery hunters at 28% and firearm hunters around 13% of falling or nearly falling. You should inspect your equipment thoroughly before you plan to start hunting. Use a lifeline every time you climb. You should wear a full-body harness at all times. Always follow the 3-point rule. Use a haul line for your gear and have a hunting plan that you share with someone you trust. Eric Hovde has conceded the race to Tammy Baldwin. Here's Lisa Hale.
Republican U.S. Senate candidate Eric Hovde announced Monday that he is conceding the race to Democratic incumbent Tammy Baldwin nearly 2 weeks after the election. He released a video on social media Monday detailing his decision, saying the outcome wasn't what he had hoped for, but he doesn't regret entering the race.
As a result, and my desire to not add to political strife through a contentious recount, I've decided to concede the election.
The Associated Press declared Baldwin the winner on November 6th, but Hovde and his campaign declined to concede for several days.
A winter weather preparedness kit doesn't have to be extensive, but Brown County Emergency Management Director Daniel Kane says everyone should have one in your home and car.
I always tell people these kits can be built to your own specific needs, your own specific requirements, your own specific fiscal situation, right? But these are some good ideas of things to think about.
Kane said to include food, water, warm blankets, and a change of clothes for each person in your home. The Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources invites all Wisconsin libraries to participate in the Check Out Wisconsin State Parks at Your Library program in 2025. The partnership program is a collaborative effort between the DNR, the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction, and more than 150 libraries across the state to provide library card holders the opportunity to check out a daily pass to state parks, forests, and recreation areas. Libraries interested in participating in this program and community partners interested in supporting their local libraries' participation should visit the Check Out Wisconsin State Parks at Your Library webpage. Check Out Wisconsin State Parks at Your Library was launched in the fall of 2022, with 20 public libraries participating in the pilot program. In 2024, 160 libraries with over 200 library locations provided daily Wisconsin State Park and Forest vehicle admission stickers for checkout to library patrons at no cost. During the presidential campaign, Donald Trump accused the Biden administration of fraudulently reporting more job creation than actually happened. But it wasn't fraud, and the same thing happened during the first Trump term. Wisconsin Watch's Tricia Young explains.
Donald Trump claimed in Milwaukee that the Biden administration, quote, fraudulently claimed, unquote, to create over 800,000 jobs. The government routinely revises job numbers as new data emerges. The Bureau of Labor Statistics estimated in August 2024 that 818,000 fewer jobs were added for the year ending in March 2024 than originally reported. A similar revision under Trump found 514,000 fewer jobs for the year ending in March 2019.
I'm Melissa Kay for WXCO.
The Bucks beat the Rockets. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Bucks pulled out a 101-100 win over the Rockets last night in Milwaukee. It snapped a 5-game winning streak for Houston. Damian Lillard with the winning shot. Doc Rivers says Lillard reminds him of Ray Allen.
Well, Dame just has great courage. Reminds me a lot of Ray Allen. In that way, Ray didn't have a lot of bad shooting nights, but when he had one, if you had one shot to make, you still wanted to go to him. And that's how you feel about Dame.
The Bucks host the Chicago Bulls tomorrow night. Men's college basketball, number 19th ranked Badgers held on to win over Texas Rio Grande Valley, 87-84. Wisconsin remains undefeated at 5-0. College football, the Badgers head to Lincoln to play Nebraska this Saturday at 2:30. Luke Fickell on his decision to fire offensive coordinator Phil Longo.
Just so you know, on Sunday, I had made a decision to what we needed to do, and then came in, obviously had a conversation with Phil, and pretty much decided that we needed to do it now.
That's the Badgers' Luke Fickell with Sports on Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Beauty in Black is Tyler Perry's new hit show. Although the show debuted to lukewarm reviews at under 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, viewers don't seem to care. The show nabbed 8.6 million viewers. If you're doing the math, that's 15.2 million eyes. Perry said he was excited the show is pulling in viewers worldwide to contrast criticism that black entertainment does not have global appeal. He says Netflix has repeatedly proven it does. Speaking of Netflix, the streamer says 60 million households watched the highly touted, meaningless snooze fest referred to often as the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson bout last Friday night. The 58-year-old Tyson lost an actual nail-biter as he seemed to be trying to chew through his gloves most of the fight. Anyone who bet that Tyson's elderly legs would go after 6 punches cleaned up. Netflix says they wanted the broadcast to be a spectacle, and it was. If you like watching your TV buffer all night, just an awful event all the way around for fight and entertainment fans. The action Santa film Red One is being called a disappointment during its opening weekend at the box office. The Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson Chris Evans film opened opened in first place, but with only a $34 million take. Sounds like a lot of money because it is, but the film cost $250 million, and that's before you throw in marketing costs. Johnson plays Santa's head of security who has to find jolly old Saint Nick after he's been kidnapped. Coming in second place was Venom: The Last Dance, which took in a little over $7 million in its fourth week of release. Another Christmas film in the second week of release, The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, came in third place with $5.5 million at the gate. A24's Heretic, starring Hugh Grant, who terrorizes Mormon missionaries, dropped to fourth place with a little over $5 million in sales, and DreamWorks' The Wild Robot came in fifth place with a little over $4 million. Will Glickett actually be the next Barbenheimer? We will see this weekend, my friends. Paul Mescal's star is on the rise, and with the release of Gladiator 2 this coming weekend, that should continue. According to Variety, the Gladiator will be the featured host on Saturday Night Live December 7th, which means he has officially arrived. Mescal will be the Late Night Institution's first guest the week back after the Thanksgiving hiatus. That week's musical guest will be the genre-bending musical artist Shabuzi. Kevin Costner fans are desperate for Kevin Costner to finish his 4-part series Horizon: An American Saga. The source? Kevin Costner. Costner assured fans that Chapter 3 was on the way a few months ago, but that was before Chapter 1 underperformed at the box office and distributors pulled Part 2 from theaters and sent it right to the stream. Costner didn't sound as confident more recently when he told Deadline in the last few days he is hopeful Chapter 3 will still get made, giving the vibe he is tired of his own project. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
We have a lot going on today. Showers this morning, then cloudy and very windy with temperatures falling into the low to mid 40s by later this afternoon. Tonight, breezy, 31. Tomorrow, cloudy, windy, scattered snow showers at a high in the mid to upper 30s. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Outside now, it's 55.
That's your WXCO Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at bullfallsradio.com. The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.